the current FIFA World Champion.
Yes.
Put my teeth back in. We're doing back-to-back here. It gets a little bit difficult going up against someone who has been, in my opinion, the most impressive player we've seen today.
At this tournament, for sure, DaXe has looked phenomenal, and we can't really question his ability going forward. You call him an artist, whatever. He just gets the job done. However, you're going up against Msdossary, and Msdossary is one of these players that whenever his back is against the wall, he will always find a way. He plays beautiful FIFA as well, and we haven't seen loads of Msdossary this year. If you compare him to DaXe, for example, who was at every tournament prior to this one, he even qualified for this tournament but decided not to come to the tournament. Msdossary has only been at, 4 tournaments? I believe this is his 5th tournament. And he's been there or thereabouts. Of course, he was the winner of FUT Champions Cup number 2 in London. He got to the console final in FUT Champions Cup number 4. And I think he just comes to these tournaments and he gets the job done. He secures those Global Series ranking points. He's still at 2nd in the Global Series ranking points despite doing maybe 6 events less than some of the players below him.
Yeah, it is really a great point that you bring up, how successful he has been in FIFA 19 at the tournaments that he has attended. And we talk about the ability to win a championship. It just seems this intangible thing that certain players like Nicholas, like DaXe, like Msdossary have somewhere in their DNA as we get our Xbox Grand Final underway. We're going back-to-back, and I'm excited to see how this one turns out.
And I think DaXe has a point to prove at this tournament. Of course, Atlanta, a very disappointing one for him, eliminated from the Swiss stage, but he's bounced straight back here and got to another console final. But he always falls at that final hurdle that Harry was talking about on the desk. Can he finally make that leap and get over it?
Well, he's certainly going to be looking to do that. Right the wrongs of his season so far on FIFA 19, but Msdossary straight away puts him on the back foot. Never count out Msdossary. He's a champion for a reason. He's the current world champion for a reason, and that's because he gets out of the gates hot, and he starts off with electrifying finishing.
Yeah, what a way to start this Xbox final here. Again, it's that left-hand side. Just really players noticing the vulnerability of right-backs, it would seem. We talked about all the vulnerabilities of left-backs with the crossing. Well, it seems like that right-back isn't able to get across quick enough, and the quick pass and move seems to punish them so often now. And Msdossary just asserting his dominance right from the get-go.
Just what DaXe didn't need at the start of this Xbox final. He's very much a player who likes to kind of feel his way into a game. But again, when you're going up against a player of the like of Msdossary, you kind of expect at some point you are going to concede. So you have to kind of just take that little knock on the chin, move forward yourself, stick to what you know. And Msdossary reads that pass so well there, moving Virgil van Dijk into position to intercept that. And you can see him already getting aggressive on the attack there, Dan, trying to move the ball off to his forwards very quickly. But here's DaXe in behind now with Neymar. Maybe the first chance for him to get in behind. Little combination, oh no, big chance, big save, doesn't matter, there's the follow-up and DaXe is back in it.
And I mean, yeah, okay, he got the deflection, but what a beautiful work towards that goal. I think you called him the artist at the start of this tournament, and maybe it should stick because he does paint a picture every single time he goes forward. And Msdossary, despite his early dominance, DaXe has struck straight back here. And this is the Xbox final I think we were all just gagging for, hoping that we were going to see 2 of the best players in the world collide and go toe-to-toe with one another, back and forth action. I think strap yourselves in because this is going to be a good ride.
It certainly is going to be an exciting final. 2 goals in the first 13 minutes of our first leg. Marcelo steps in then for DaXe. And look at the space here for Kylian Mbappe, and there's players in front of him as well that he could use in this situation. Msdossary pulling some players out of position in the centre-back role here. Gets Van Dijk back into position. R9 now. Into Kylian Mbappe, the goal scorer for DaXe. Hullet comes back though. I'd love to see a stat on how many times Ruud Gullit's made tackles in that midfield area so far this tournament.
I think it would be off the chart. I don't think you can actually analyse it because there is just too many times that he's been in that position. Really is just the core of so many of these teams. And the players taking full advantage of how good that foot item is. But for DaXe, he just needs to stop Msdossary from having the freedom to get creative with his attacks. There's one thing that Msdossary does very successfully is he does have a little bit of variety. He notices where weaknesses are in his opponent and he will expose them.
A little bit of misfortune goes DaXe's way and he gets away with Hit there, good tackle by Rio Ferdinand after a nice little ball roll from Msdossary inside the box. That's one thing I think we'll have to keep an eye on in this game is we know how good both of these players are going forward. It might be the defensive display which wins them a title.
And that's always one of the most difficult things to do against some of the best players in the world is try and defend, because even if you're the best defender, a best attacker is always going to find a way past you.
Ooh, Vieira has to stretch there. And he does so using every single inch of that big frame to get the tackle in on Neymar. You have to think any other player in that position, would they have even had the reach to get to that ball? But now Msdossary comes forward again. Vieira again on the edge of the box. Tries to fire the ball into CR7, but DaXe again, well defended.
Both of them really targeting this central area of the final third as well, trying to get that direct pass through the middle, hit it first time, driven. We've seen it several times, well, more than several, we've seen it so many times this tournament, that first time shot after that through ball is played. And it almost feels like they're both just kind of feeling each other out a little bit at the moment, seeing if they can get away with those through balls. And then once they realise that it's being cut out too often, they'll start to switch things up a little bit. Maybe we'll see some crosses coming out. I know DaXe has been more than happy to resort to a cross if he needs to, if he feels a little bit frustrated. So maybe we could expect that as this game goes on.
Obviously, both these players have so many different weapons in their arsenal as far as chance creation is concerned. So almost expect the unexpected in certain situations from both of these fantastic players. And here's Mbappe then. Ronaldo with a cheeky little back heel around the corner. Msdossary with plenty of men behind the ball here, but DaXe doesn't mind that too much. It means he will have time to be comfortable on the ball, build those attacks, and Mbappe just coming under slightly too much pressure there from Ronaldo and forced out of play.
Yeah, DaXe, similarly to Nicholas, I feel, is always going to be comfortable against a player who's playing a similar style and a similar formation. The drop back, the 4-2-3-1, it's going to play into DaXe's hands.
Well, there's the ball towards the back post. Cristiano Ronaldo isn't going to be able to get there. Slightly overhit there by Marcelo, but nice overlapping run there from the Brazilian. It'd be interesting to see if Msdossary does have his fullbacks on set to join the attack, or always overlap.
Yeah, sometimes if you set them to overlap, but they're still on stay back, they will join the attack. And of course, you can encourage them to join the attack using the LB button as well. If you're controlling that left midfielder, sometimes you can make sure they're joining the attack with you and taking full advantage of it. There is a lot you can do to control a team, even though you only control one player at a time. As it looks, you can actually control many more if you know how to use the buttons correctly.
So then the game has kind of quietened down a little bit after that early flurry of activity and those 2 goals within the first 13 minutes of the game. Half-time just around the corner then. Is it Msdossary who's going to have the final chance here before the referee's whistle does blow? CR7 inside the box, but Marcelo's just going to pinch that off of him. DaXe has to be a little bit careful here. Defends it well, and maybe he'll have one more chance to go forward as we get into stoppage time here at the end of this first half. Ronaldo with a little stop up from DaXe. Neymar, this is where he's so dangerous, these little intricate passes. Neymar tries to find the ball back into either R9 or Ruud Gullit, who was waiting on the edge of the box, but it was a great start to the first half. Then it became a real tactical battle down.
Yeah, it became both of them just realising that, okay, there is a lot of goal-scoring threat from my opponent here, so I really have to work hard and focus on containing them in that kind of midfield area into my final third. I can't let any chances just slip by. And you can see with their player switching, they're watching every single run, whether it be down the wing or whether it's through the middle. They're cutting all of those passing lanes and really trying to frustrate each other here. And it is going to be a mental battle as well as a physical one on the pitch.
And of course, let us know at home as well who you think is going to win this Xbox final as well as who you think might take home that cross-console championship. Use the hashtag Gfinity FIFA to get in touch and let us know your views as we are into the second half now. DaXe, great ball. Look at the space here for Vieira. Great little interchange on the edge of the box. It's a beautiful little bit of play. Ronaldo to Neymar. Ball falls back to Ronaldo. And he makes it count.
Every single time he was prepared to pounce on that ball. It was bobbling left, right and centre, but DaXe stayed focused. He didn't hit it first time when it dropped to Neymar. He played the pass and then got the pass across again. Fortune favours the brave, and he's able to put that one away. And now he has the lead against Msdossary.
This is the position that DaXe loves to be in. having that goal lead, having control of the game, means he can minimise the risks he takes going forward. And winning the ball back here from the restart as well is going to be huge for him. Now he can start his slow, methodical build-up through the midfield, getting everyone on the pitch involved, giving everyone a touch before he does just light that touch paper and ignite that attack.
It's a perfect case, perfect scenario now for DaXe because he's in no rush. He can play at his own speed, which is the dangerous thing, the scary thing, because when he's given time to think and time to experiment, he does always pull something out of the bag. Well,
speaking of pulling something out of the bag, Neymar, who's full of tricks, is on the ball here for DaXe. Vieira trying to play a little first-time ball. Van Dijk has to get across his man there to make the tackle, but again, DaXe looking dangerous.
And we've seen a lot of Van Dijk this tournament, and I am somewhat surprised. I mean, of course, he is an absolute unit at the back, but Maldini and Varane both a lot faster. Even Ferdinand, I think I would prefer in some instances, but it's all down to preference at the end of the day. I think Van Dijk can sometimes be vulnerable to some of these really quick strikers. They can almost run a circle around him if he doesn't manage to get hold of them. But you know what? I'm not really going to argue with the current world champion. I think he knows what he wants.
Here comes Msdossary then. Hour gone in this game. Of course, we do have the second leg to come as well. Here is that man, Virgil van Dijk. That's a nice little pass driven into attacking positions, but a speculative shot from distance there. A little shake of the head there from Msdossary as well. Comfortable save for DaXe. And if you can keep Msdossary to those kind of chances, I mean, DaXe going to be smiling.
Yeah, I wonder
all the way through this final.
That's what the shake of the head was from Msdossary, maybe, of why am I shooting from there? I shouldn't be shooting from those distances.
Here comes DaXe then. Again, giving so many players a touch of the ball here in his attacks. Ronaldo now, a few step overs, gets away from Mbappe. Keeping Msdossary guessing here. And that ball around the corner to Ramos. It's going to create the room here for Ruud Gullit to go forward. Ramos just gives the ball away there. He was looking for the pass into Gullit. And this would be classic Msdossary now. On the counter-attack, you see Ramos trying to get back into position, and he does so effectively there for DaXe.
And that's where DaXe does have to be careful, though, where he's in that final third and he's playing those balls, and there's so much room here, Mark.
He has to finish this, but no! So many options.
Almost too many options.
And if all the options were available, he chose the wrong one.
Yeah, you see that player darting towards the left-hand side, and 9 times out of 10, that cross is going to be perfect with the keeper movement from Msdossary just cutting out that cross. And I think he'll be wiping sweat off his brow right now.
Here's Vieira then for Msdossary. 1 goal down with 15 minutes left of our first leg here in the Xbox final, but Patrick Vieira just bullies Patrick Vieira off of the ball. And look at the running behind here from R9, but DaXe playing it smart, showing that experience. Not overcommitting to the attack, and just inviting Mbappe to get forward as well.
He doesn't need to take any silly risks.
R9 to Gullit, R9 inside the box. Oh, big tackle comes in from Marcelo.
Because silly risks will result in Msdossary getting more chances, and if you present Msdossary with chances, he is going to jump on them, as that's what a world champion does. However, we knew this one was going to be close. As the desk said, we've had games in the past where we have kind of an underdog versus best in the world. Like, these are 2 of the best players in the world. These are 2 players that we could see realistically in a final at the end of the season in the eWorld Cup.
Back underway then. Marcelo flicks this one up for DaXe, but a strong tackle comes in from Msdossary. Now he's just looking to get into that space in behind the fullback. Marcelo chasing down Cristiano Ronaldo. 10 minutes left here for Msdossary to try and find an equaliser. Inside the box here, looking for a little El Tornado, but well defended by DaXe.
Notice how DaXe doesn't get frustrated as well. When he makes a tackle but he doesn't win the ball back, a lot of players in that situation would be, I don't know, just rolling their eyes or throwing a hand aloft. It's constant focus. It's just always being reactive and pouncing on that current situation. not allowing the game to get the better of him.
Eusebio then for DaXe. Look at the run through the middle here from R9, but he chooses to use Eusebio instead. Defender goes to ground to get the block in. Vieira to Mbappe. R9 might get there. He's dropped on the edge of the box. Nothing given, though, by the referee.
A few minutes left and time maybe for one more attack for Msdossary in this grand final on the Xbox. Of course, it is still just the first leg, so still 90 more minutes to play. So I don't think Msdossary would be too disheartened with going into that second leg with just a 1-goal deficit.
Yeah, but he's going to want a goal here. If you know Msdossary, you know he's never happy with even losing a leg, let alone a match here. He's coming forward. There is space out wide here for Cristiano Ronaldo. Into stoppage time here. At the end of the first leg, Hullet now. Is he? Oh, I was going to say, is he going to pull the trigger? He does, and he gets the corner.
Corners are dangerous, though. Will he look for Cristiano Ronaldo, or will he look for maybe Hullet at that back post? You can see.
Last attack of the game then, in the first leg. De Gea's going to come out and claim that. And that's going to be a deep breath and a little bit of relief here from DaXe, because he has taken the first leg. 2-1 here in our Xbox Grand Final. What a performance from the Frenchman.
Half of the job is done. However, we know that the second half of that job is going to be extremely difficult, holding off Msdossary for 90 minutes, because this is where champions get creative. This is where champions will analyze that gameplay. They will look at what went wrong and what went right, and they will then change up their style in that second leg, and you have to be ready for that switch up.
That was the opening goal then for Msdossary, a fantastically worked opportunity. DaXe, though, coming from behind as well. We should highlight that for the people who might just be joining us in the final. Guess a little bit unfortunate, Msdossary there, but, you know, 9 out of 10 times you're going to see R9 put that one away. It was, again, a beautifully worked chance. Almost found his way through there, Msdossary as well, but it really was a tactical battle, with both players trying not to make any mistakes, and there was barely a mistake from either player in that game.
Yeah, and both of them are trying to work the ball as far as they can into the box as well, and when you get this deep into the box, situations like that are going to happen. It is going to bundle off a couple of players, but you just have to take advantage of it if you're presented with that opportunity, and that's what DaXe did exactly. However, Msdossary wasn't able to get as far into the box as DaXe.
This is the one chance that I look back on, and I wonder if DaXe is going to pay for that, because that was an opportunity he really should be finding a player and be at least getting a shot on goal in a 1v1 situation.
Just come forward a little bit more with Cristiano Ronaldo, maybe make the keeper second guess himself and maybe attack the keeper right from the right-hand side. But either way, he still gets his goal lead going into this second leg, and that's what's going to be important for DaXe. We've seen him struggling in these situations before, but now, rather than being on the back foot, he is on the front foot. It's his game to lose now.
And even though Msdossary is 2-1 down, he looks relaxed at the moment. He looks pretty chill. He's been in these situations before. You know, a game of FIFA isn't won in the first leg. We know that. It's the second leg where we get our result and we see those big swings in games. We see those big changes in tactics at certain points when players are changing the game. And DaXe is going to play the same way. DaXe is going to come into this second leg playing exactly the same as he did in the first leg, because it was so effective. And I think not only was it effective offensively, he limited Msdossary to chances as well.
And you saw that with Msdossary as well, taking a shot from long range and having a shake of the head. And yet mentally, of course, Msdossary has been in these situations before. He knows exactly what he wants to do. But at the same time, when you notice little shakes of the head like that, you know he's not feeling particularly happy with how he's playing. But that's also a scary factor.
Yeah.
Because if he knows he's not playing well, he will just switch it up a level and he will come out firing in this second leg. And DaXe has to be ready for that, because if DaXe switches off ever so slightly, you know Msdossary's going to jump on it.
Well, here we go. Second leg about to get under the way. And just remember, Msdossary has that 4-2-2 up his sleeve as well. 1 goal the difference between the two players after 90 in-game minutes. As you said, Dan, half of the job done here for PSG's DaXe. Can he go the whole way, though?
He doesn't need to make mistakes like that. That's what he's got to be careful of. Those simple passes, he's very good at the passing game, DaXe. Just needs to limit his risks and try and really limit Msdossary's attacks. It sounds simple. That's exactly what he needs to do. Just keep the ball away from him almost.
Not running the ball out of play as well is going to be important. Don't want to gift the ball to Msdossary and give him the chance to build attacks. You can really feel the tension in the Gfinity Arena at the moment. The concentration on both these players, you can see it on their faces, Dan. They have a real mutual respect for each other. You can almost feel it in the way they're playing. And DaXe now's in behind, trying to burst around the defender, but Rio Ferdinand does have the strength to deal with Cristiano Ronaldo there.
That's what happens when you get to the latter stages of these tournaments, though. Players do know each other. They have faced each other before. They know how each other work, and they respect the ability of their opponents. So they almost play a little bit more defensively and less risky, because they know if they give that opportunity to their opponent, they are going to seize it in the moment. So that's maybe why it's been a little bit quieter in that first leg than we might have seen if it was against a different opponent from either of these players.
DaXe then tiptoeing forward with Neymar. Mbappe gets around Ramos. That's a ball in towards the back post. Oh, I thought the man was free there, but Rio Ferdinand again showing his worth. In that centre-back position, rose highest and dealt with the danger there for DaXe.
And maybe for DaXe here, he actually needs to speed up the gameplay. I know I speak so often about players who need to slow things down, but if he can get this as fast-paced football, try and take DaXe out of his comfort zone, that's where DaXe is going to be really thriving.
Ferdinand again with the interception. That all came from DaXe giving the ball away a little bit unnecessarily, and he's almost done it again here. It seems like DaXe trying to apply a little bit more pressure to the passing game here of DaXe. And he seems to be having a little bit of success here at the start of this second leg.
Yeah, he doesn't want to give DaXe the room now to just play his own game. He's saying, all right, I'm going to take it to you, DaXe. Let's see how you handle the pressure if I'm running at every single one of your players. And then, of course, he can slow things down as well, DaXe. He can switch it up as well if he would like.
Here's Neymar then, takes this one first time! And that's all it takes! DaXe fires first in the second leg. And now we're tied up at 2-2. The left foot of Neymar is the one that brings it back into it.
And sometimes you just got to hit them. You've just got to let it fly. And you can see it soaring into the back of that net. A cheeky smile from DaXe. What a finish that is. From Neymar, Team of the Year foot item, of course. They do have the ability to do it. He was frustrated in the first half when he did take a long shot. He wasn't able to find the goal, but now he saw that opportunity, he saw the sight on goal, and he took it.
And I think the thing that's going to frustrate DaXe most about that goal is he's limited DaXe to doing that, to taking a shot from distance. But, as we mentioned, sometimes with the meta change, with the first-time finesse not being quite as effective, goalkeeper movement gets forgotten about a little bit from those shots from distance. I think take ourselves back to one of the first patches that we had where the first-time finesse was effective, or more effective, I should say. The goalkeeper movement you probably expect to see there.
But even with goalkeeper movement, I mean, that was hammered home. It wasn't like a simple curl into the top corner. It was absolutely rifled there. The power was just perfect from DaXe, and sometimes that's all you need. You just need to be able to know exactly the right amount of power you'd like to apply to the shot. And it can just hurtle in.
DaXe then starting to look more dangerous as this game goes on, but an important interception there from Kylian Mbappe is going to allow DaXe to come forward. Mbappe is in all sorts of space in behind here. Virgil van Dijk is trying to chase him down, and Van Dijk makes up the ground on Mbappe.
And maybe those are the scenarios where DaXe can still improve, in those kind of one-on-one situations where he doesn't have the players to pass to, where he can't play his artistic style of passing between 5 players and finding a tap in. A simple ball roll, a croqueta to get away from that first defender and then restart that attack almost, maybe what he needs.
Here's DaXe then up the other end. That's aggressive play there from Mbappe, getting around the edge of Sergio Ramos and looking for a player into that front post. Didn't find a target, but DaXe showing how effective he is on the counter-attack. 10 minutes till half-time here. Still tied up at 2-2. And it's DaXe now who's got in behind DaXe's fullbacks with Neymar. Ronaldo into R9, turns his man, finds Neymar! Can't beat De Gea. Neymar then shot from the corner. Gets past another man. CR7 into the box, Varane's arriving. Well defended by Sergio Ramos, and DaXe can come away.
But you can see that DaXe is switching things up now. He is changing his style of attack. He is trying to utilize those wings. He's going to get crosses in. He's going to try and make 1-2s and take shots from different angles. And that's good. He does need to try everything to try and break down DaXe now. If he becomes a one-trick pony, if he tries the same thing every time, then DaXe will start to read him. But DaXe has demonstrated all tournament long. He has so much to offer going forward. But it's still all tied up, and for once in the tournament, DaXe is behind on possession. It's DaXe who is dominating that with 60% right now.
And that's a great ball into Mbappe as well, just getting between the defensive lines here of DaXe. There's a run outside of him. Ruud Gullit takes it on though. De Gea has to be alert and turns it up behind for a corner on the stroke of half-time. The ball goes into the box. I'm not sure who got part of that. It was actually defender who sends it out for another corner into the front post. No reaction here from DaXe with the goalkeeper. And he sends it over the bar there, DaXe. Ronaldo won the header. And I think that might be it as we head into half-time.
Yeah, DaXe just taking those corners so quickly to not give DaXe even any time to think about goalkeeper movement or trying to move that player to the front post. When Ronaldo is waiting there, you've got to try and stick it on his noggin.
Is there going to be another chance there? No, there isn't. The half-time whistle goes in our second leg. And after our first leg, and after 45 minutes of our second leg, still nothing to separate these two players. And there's one man who's sat in the crowd right now who has made it into our cross-console final, Nicholas, who's definitely watching this game with keen interest.
He was looking the wrong way. Doesn't even care who he faces.
Half-time, Dan.
He's the Iceman. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it was half-time. He's all right. He's allowed to have a chat with one of his mates, but that's who they're going to be facing. But first, they have to conquer one another. It's all tied up, even Stevens, and we knew it was going to be tight between these two. We knew the ability of them. Who's going to have the bottle to try and break this deadlock now?
DaXe then tries to find the pass into Gullit. That was really well read there by DaXe. Credit where credit's due, excuse me. Defensively there from the Frenchman. Fantastic stuff from him. Sometimes we sort of laud plaudits on the attacking flair of players and how they break down defenses, but you have to give credit sometimes to the things that you don't see, the little player switches defensively. Marcelo then for DaXe on this left-hand side. Just trying to bait a midfielder out, and that creates the space here for Vieira. Nice play here from DaXe. Again, not afraid to use the centre-backs to draw a player out, and now you're seeing Ronaldo in space. Marcelo comes across to cover. Ramos. Into Gullit, space here for Vieira. Oh no, it's inside the box! Oh, what a save from David De Gea.
And what a well-worked chance that was from DaXe as well, utilising that fullback. Sergio Ramos joining the attack, and he didn't want to make a risky pass. He wasn't playing a pass until he knew he was going to guarantee it, because if you give the ball away with Ramos, then suddenly you're going to be vulnerable on that left-hand side.
Here's Gullit then. Inside the box, it's R9 again. A couple of scoop turns, a couple of fake shots. De Gea spills, but no one there on the follow-up for DaXe.
And it's all DaXe at the moment. And DaXe, can he answer back? You can see the run being made on the left-hand side, but great work from DaXe once again to track that.
Mbappe's managed to get round the outside of his man. The advanced fake shot, he stands it up inside the box. DaXe's defender wins the header, and all of a sudden, Dan, this game has completely opened up with just 30 minutes to go.
And I wonder if it is just going to come down to one goal for one of these, because they have been defending so well, because they have been controlling the game when they need to. You feel like if they do take the lead, it might just be enough.
That's a fantastic ball from DaXe. Mbappe with a couple of step-overs and a body feint to go back inside. You feel like the next big chance could decide this game between these two players. Gullit finds the ball round the corner. Mbappe's going to get there, but can't find R9 in the middle.
Almost Ramos again, just making that mistake. Does seem to be a little bit of a liability at times. A lot of goals have come from that area, and we've seen in tournaments Ramos giving away a lot of penalties as well.
Here comes DaXe, then up the other end, it's Marcelo versus Ronaldo. De Gea comes out for DaXe though and deals with that problem before it even became a problem.
Look how much more quick DaXe is playing with the attack now as well. He really is actually trying to hit DaXe on a bit of a counter-attack instead of working it through his defenders and recycling the play. He's only recycling when he feels he has to.
Ronaldo against Marcelo then. Drag back, gets it back onto Cristiano Ronaldo, strong foot here. Ramos tries to find that ball Into R9, and now Dasari can run away with Mbappe.
Those are the ones you have to be careful with, those little passes where they look like it's a comfortable pass. However, there are players always waiting to cut that passing lane.
Neymar's looking to get in behind Ferdinand, but again, Ferdinand being so solid at the back here for DaXe.
I mean, that's what most of these games throughout this tournament have been. It's been defensive displays from players that have really dominated. We can talk about the Swiss stages and how we saw players winning, what, 9-2, for example. You can see on the right-hand side when DaXe beat Jazz in his final game in the Swiss round. But as we've got to the later stages, we've got to the better players, arguably. They are so much closer, these games, and it's so difficult to try and break down these defenses.
Inside the last 15 minutes then of the second leg. Is there a goal in it? Is there another twist in this tie? Dasari defends well and looks to release Kylian Mbappe down this left-hand side. Trying to get away from the attention of Patrick Vieira, but he saw Dasari there so frustrated, he ran the ball out of play.
Sometimes it can happen when you just... when you're focusing too much, you try and do a little bit too much with the ball as well. As you said, runs it out of play and gives possession back to DaXe, and that's something you've got to be careful of. You don't want to allow DaXe to have that possession, but DaXe almost gives the ball away. He does give the ball away. Yeah,
a little bit sloppy here from DaXe, and Dasari is going to more than happily take advantage of it. Big chance for Dasari. The only thing that was missing there was green for go.
And I thought it was in. I think Dasari probably thought it was in as well. Almost taking advantage of that little slip up from DaXe, and that's what happens when we get to the latter stages of a game. Players start to get a little bit fatigued, both the players that are playing with the controller and the players on the pitch.
Here's Mbappe then again looking to test out the goalkeeper from range. Dasari is the player who's kind of taking command in the last stages of this game. But DaXe has the chance here to come forward once more.
7 hours of FIFA we've had today. These players are going to be starting to get a little bit tired. It's not easy. I'm sure you at home have played weekend league for hours upon end, and after a few games, you do need a rest. One of these players is going to have to go straight into a cross-console final, whilst Nicholas has been able to have a little bit of a breather.
Dasari then looking to find the player on the edge of the box. It's Pele, finds the ball around the corner. Mbappe, DaXe has to be so careful here, and I take my hat off there to DaXe. That was so well defended. Under pressure with just a few moments left in the game, not to dive into a tackle there. It sounds easy, but when the pressure is on, making those decisions is so much more tough.
Was there a tournament last year where we measured heart rate at a FIFA event? Yeah, I mean, you can just imagine what the heart rate of some of these players every time you see your opponent attacking and they get into that final third, and you really have to just switch on, because your palms do start to get a little bit sweaty. You do start to panic.
Here's the ball into Eusebio. Eusebio goes across goal, can't get the second shot on the follow-up. Big chance there for DaXe. Into stoppage time. The current world champion is looking for a last-minute goal. Marcelo wins the header, and that is going to be extra time here in our Xbox final. 50-50 on possession. Nothing to split these two players on goals. This has been a phenomenal Xbox final so far.
I think that shows the caliber of DaXe as well. Considering he's 10th in the Global Series rankings at the moment, you could argue he could be higher. I think with a win here, he would jump up to around top 5, which you could argue is where he deserves to be with some of the performances he has shown at this tournament. But 180 minutes could not separate the two, so it means we get an extra 30 here of extra time, and then of course it will be penalties if they are still drawing. And if we did have a heart rate monitor, just imagine what it'd be like during those penalties.
It's almost disappointing for me that we only have extra time. I'd like to watch these two play again and again and again. It really has been a fantastic Xbox final here. But there has to be a winner. There has to be someone to go into that cross-console final to play against Nicholas. DaXe now on the attack. Eusebio finds Mbappe. Big chance. De Gea with a huge save.
And those are the chances you've got to tuck away against Msdossary as well, and DaXe will know that. Wasn't quite timed to perfection, but he had worked his way into such a good scenario. And I wonder whether he will live to rue that chance, because this is such a fantastic opportunity for DaXe He has struggled against the top players in the history. He's been eliminated by Tex, by Megabit. Neither of those players at this tournament.
Ramos, a little misstep from him. Ronaldo's in behind. Ramos gets back, makes the tackle, wins the ball. But scary moments there for DaXe.
And I think DaXe knows that DaXe is here for the taking. He can get to this cross-console final. He has the ability. He just needs that one moment. He needs to tuck away that one chance. But he needs to be very careful at the back as well, because DaXe, we know what he's like. Just when you least expect it, he shows up, he gets the job done.
Well, that's an uncharacteristically misplaced pass there from DaXe, and what a ball that is inside. Hullet now, going forward. Ronaldo, R9, just gets shoved off the ball there by Patrick Vieira. No surprise to see the set piece being arranged here by DaXe. Couple of runners off the ball. Mbappe, Ronaldo, Marcelo now to the byline. Tries to get around the outside of his man. He almost gets the ball on the rebound. But you can feel the tension and the pressure on every single attack now from both of these players.
And I talk about nerves when your opponent's attacking. It's nerve-wracking when you're attacking as well, because you know
nerve-wracking to watch.
It could be your last attack. It could be your last chance.
R9 then, opening up in front of him here. DaXe, oh, Vieira almost directed it into his own goal. Corner for DaXe. Whipped in towards the front post. Oh, it's there towards the back post. Ronaldo might have won it.
In added on time of the first half of extra time, DaXe gains the lead once again in this tie. After coming back from behind, he was 2-1 down going into this. And now DaXe has it all to do with just 15 minutes in game.
And I talk about that intangible championship mentality that some of these players just seem to have. Msdossary has been under the pump a little bit in the first half of extra time here, but he finds the goal. He gets one chance, he puts it away. That's the difference between these players at this level. Making those decisions, finding those finishes in those moments, and he now only has to hold on for the second half of extra time here to once again call himself the Xbox champion.
Tactics to be changed now for DaXe, as he's going to throw everything forward, and I imagine on the other side DaXe will be just setting up and building a wall. And we talk about just these split decisions, how little things can really change a final. If we rewind just before that goal, maybe 30 seconds before, DaXe almost had a corner, but Marcelo kept the ball in. DaXe did fantastically to make sure that that wasn't going out for a corner, because we know how dangerous corners can be. With the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and Hullet, with their aerial presence, if you put the ball in the mixer, you do have a fantastic chance of finding a goal, and DaXe found just that. And maybe the goal from Cristiano Ronaldo will be enough to send him into another cross-console final.
All the pressure now moves back onto DaXe. 15 minutes here in game to find a goal, to send it to penalties. And with how tight this game has been, it wouldn't surprise me to see a penalty shootout have to come in to decide who goes into our cross-console final. But that goal from Msdossary at that moment in the game might be what decides the Xbox final.
And he has kickoff as well. Very important, because it means he can control the early stages of this second half of extra time, keep possession, force DaXe to bring some of those players out, and most importantly, waste a little bit of time and eat away at that clock, because that clock is going to disappear very quickly. 15 minutes in game is not long at all.
DaXe then gets the ball back. This is huge for DaXe. The pressure comes in from Marcelo. He can't take advantage of possession falling his way, and now look at this. Ooh. I don't think Ronaldo's going to get there. You can see DaXe's frustrated at himself again. He knows the margins of this game.
And sometimes you can still take risks when you're in these situations. A long pass like that, if he was able to pull it off, he would have gained so much room and so much space on the right-hand side to be able to just run the ball out and run that clock away. You do have to be brave, even if you are trying to play this defensive style and closing a game out.
Cricketta here from DaXe, though. Ronaldo now in the box, but two players from DaXe just crowd the man on the edge of the box, and now he's got all sorts of space here, Msdossary. R9 striding away, Ball's cut back across. Ronaldo completely gets it wrong. And DaXe has a lifeline here.
That could have been game over. Unfortunately, the player just off balance. And not able to put it away and finish this game for Msdossary, which is going to allow DaXe maybe one more chance. You often say, Mark, a second bite at a cherry. This is going to be, what, the 18th bite at a cherry now to try and get back into this one. DaXe, who arguably, for me, has demonstrated some of the best FIFA we've seen at this tournament, might have just met his match in Msdossary, unless there is a final twist in the tail.
Mbappe then for DaXe. This has to be perfect, and Sergio Ramos steps in for Msdossary. This could be it. Msdossary moving towards goal and moving towards another Xbox Championship. Rudhully on the edge of the box. R9's in space, and R9 will finish it here in London. Msdossary. He is a special, special player.
And it has been a very tactical affair between these two. It's almost been like a game of chess, and that is going to be checkmate. And I'm sure that Msdossary knows that. DaXe will know that. And Msdossary will move on with this victory to face off against Nicholas in the cross-console final. But, I mean, what a shame it's been for DaXe after all of his hard work. He needs something now to have any chance of getting to penalties here.
Mbappe then for DaXe, and that's going to be it. Modric steps in. The Ballon d'Or winner wins the ball back for the current world champion. And here in London, it's going to be another Xbox title for Msdossary. I said he's special. And once again here in London, it's a happy hunting ground for Msdossary. Another title. He is your Xbox champion.
And another bitter end, unfortunately, for DaXe. So close, yet so far